What is up, everyone? It's Metro Game 75 here today. We're playing Sakura Succubus 5 Part 4. Alright, let's get started. Indeed she is, Yui scowls, but I fear she may be too dedicated. How do you mean? I look at Yui curiously. Is this about her confession? Yes, it is. What else would it be about? Sheesh. Talk about some angry ex-girlfriend. I might respect Reaffirming as a karuta player, but I have little respect for her now after her underhanded machinations. I can scarcely believe that she confessed her feelings to you so brazenly after the competition. Did she not pause to think of how that would make the rest of us feel? It does not seem at all considerate. I figured, the moment I clapped my eyes on Yui, that this be the reason behind her call. She must be jealous just like Ayu was. It's understandable. I suppose that she'd be upset given the circumstance, but geez, dating Yui back when she was called Yuki, was difficult enough. And at the time, she was my only girlfriend. I mean, she was at the time though. That's back in like Sakura Succubus 3. Now I'm trying to satisfy 6 of them, and they're all sucking me to boot. It's hard diving my time and attention equally between all 6 of my partners, and while I do try, it can get pretty exhausting. I'm pretty happy that Hifumi likes me enough to inform the nation of her feelings, or, well, the portion of the nation that actually watches karuta competitions, but for her forthrightness has caused a bunch of complications. And as if that was not bad enough, oh, there's even more Yui wants to gripe about. I shudder to think of what the rest of her complaints might entail. I have seen it reported in the daily newspaper that you were spotted in the airport with Marina and Hazel. Oh my gosh. Those people, man. Huh? Okay, now this I wasn't expecting. It's true enough that we had our photos taken at the airport, but I didn't think the story would get out of this quickly. Aren't there more important things to report on other than my love life? Is it really all over the news, Yui? Indeed it is. It was in the newspapers, soon it'll be in the magazines, and the internet is crawling with speculation about who you could be too. Everybody's determined, so it seems to solve the mystery of who this wave daper young man is, who has managed to woo not only Yamamoto Hifumi and Wakatsuki Marina and Hazel Williams too. You've become almost iconic. You're such a Lothario, a regular Romeo. Huh? At least, I would like you, such as Romeo only ever dated 2 women. You mean, well, have 6 notches on your belt, and I wouldn't be surprised during your stay in the story if you ensnared a few more hearts too. I think you're getting ahead of yourself, Yui. I tried to soothe my girlfriend, who started to look pretty perturbed. I've no interest in pursuing more women. I'm more than the content enough with my lot in life as it is. As for any more would be selfish, particularly when I have so many fine women who've expressed an interest in me already. I mean, we have a large harem of Sluggy Bee. It's a lot. You're more than enough to satisfy me. Well, we'll just see about that. Sheesh. Yui pursues her lips together. I know you, Hiroki, or rather, I know what your secret scent is like. There's something enticing about it. For some reason, we Succubus cannot keep away. You're awfully appealing. For Succubus, maybe, but I don't think there are any Succubus in Historia's palace. You don't have anything to worry about on that front. So you say, but looks can be deceiving. We Succubus are dragged to fame and glory after all, and several kind carry exalted titles in the human realm. A handful of us have married into royal families across Europe, and have sired children with kings and princes. Even if a story princess is not at all full-blooded succubus, she might very well be descended from one. If I cannot resist you, I doubt she'll be able to either. Wow, that's kind of crazy. I didn't know you Succubus had so much influence. But of course we do. We need humans to revere us. If we are to maintain our powers without continual love and respect, we begin to weaken. it makes sense, really, that we would gravitate to the rich and the powerful. So you say, I frown. But I'm not rich or powerful. I'm just an ordinary guy. Beyond my scent, which as you termed it, is enticing. I don't think I've got all that much going for me. Please, Hiroki, don't say that. That I'm ordinary? Yui nods. You you might think of yourself as such, but you are not so to me. You are very, very special to me. In fact, to question your own merits is akin to questioning my taste and my love. And as the queen of the Succubi, I cannot stand that. Do not dare to presume that my judgment might be misguided. If I love you, it is because you deserve it. Alright, I get it. I hate to pour cold water on your feelings, so I smile at Yui, flattered by her praise. I can accept them. I'm happy you like me, and I in return like you an awful lot. You're still important to me, that I'll never change. No matter what happens, you were my first girlfriend after all. Yes, I know. I realize I am being foolish, yet sometimes I get so trapped in my own thoughts I cannot think rationally. It is bad habit for a queen. Yui sighs. But I shall endeavor to swallow my jealousy. I am speaking to you now. That is the truly important thing that I do not wish for us to argue. Your immense popularity does concern me, but no matter how many women you woo, I do not think I would ever wish to leave your side. I like you more than I thought, more than might be healthy. It is hard for me, though, to be consigned to the Succubus realm. While you are busy enjoying your life to the fullest, I wish we could spend more time together. I want to go on dates with you, and I want to cling to you, and I want to confess my love to you, too. Talk about clenching hard. I want everybody to know how much you mean to me. Telling everybody might be a bit of a tall order. There's a lot of people on the planet Earth, after all. I reflect while smiling. But your feelings have reached me, at least they're loud and clear. I get what you're saying, and I agree with you. It sucks we don't have more time together. I think about you a lot, though, Yui. You do? Of course. I love you after all, and I want to lavish you with my attention. If you were here, I'd be sure to pat your head, and I'd give you a kiss too. Would that cheer you up? Perhaps. Yui demurs, her face flushed while coiling a strand of darkened hair about her finger. I'll hold you to that. Then I fully expect during our next meeting for you to embrace me and to shower me with your praise. Sure, I can do that. It'll be easy. I have no shortage of nice things to say about you. I love how hardworking you are, Yui, and how determined. No matter how disheartening you get, you always pick yourself up and keep on going. You're loving and affectionate, and you're intelligent, and... Alright, that's enough. Yui cuts me off, her face redder than the apple that did in the Snow White. You have to save some of these compliments for when we can see... when we can next see one another face to face, so... they don't grow stale. Please give me something to look forward to. Sure thing, I'll use the next week to think of plenty of kind words to say to you. I can't imagine I'll have much else to do. Relaxing in the palace. I don't have any meetings to attend to like Marina, or tennis matches to prep for like Hazel. I came along with Hifuma's behest, but I'm feeling a bit extraneous. I have no real plans lined up, so I might as well use my time to think of ways to cheer Yui up. That seems plenty productive enough to me. I'll look forward to it. Then, Yui surveys me from beneath her dark eyelashes, suddenly shy. Thank you for being so understanding, Hiroki, and I'm sorry for bothering you when it is so very late. You must be tired after your flight. I just wish to speak to you so much. I could not help myself. It's fine, don't worry about it. I am your boyfriend after all. You don't need to hold back around me. It'd be pretty sad if you didn't feel comfortable speaking to me. Yes, I suppose that is true. Thank you again. I should probably be going now, but Yui exhales. It might be my imagination, but her face is starting to look a little red. It has been such a long time since I last saw you, Hiroki. I cannot help but crave you. Though we can speak only through the phone, I was wondering... Could we indulge in more intimate matter of conversation? I might be able to hold you, but I can always imagine that I am, and I care for you so greatly, your words alone will be enough to make me happy. I know that what you is getting at, of course, her sultry voices makes it apparent enough, even if her bedroom eyes don't. Her plaintive entreaties can't fail to move me. She's so cute. How could I possibly refuse? Grinning, I observe her and say, of course I wouldn't mind. It's funny you feel the need to ask. Really, given you are my girlfriend, you ought to know how to attractive I find you by now. I'm hardly about to turn you down. I could even if I wanted to, which I don't. I'm completely in your thrall. Whew, next morning. I wake up early for the following morning to the sound of bird song filtering through the window, mingled with distinctive striking of heeled shoes against the wooden floor. Yawning, I crack both eyes open, then sit up in my bed. Look who it is, the maid. I'm not alone in my room, as I surmise by the sound of high heels. Sophia's maid, the one who greeted me at the airport, is busy sweeping up a room. In one hand, though she still turns politely to greet me. Good morning, Mr. Sakura. I hope I didn't disturb you while I was tidying. If I awoke you, I must apologize. You may return to your slumber if so desired. Oh no, it's fine. It's pretty late as it is. I glance at my phone, which I left charging on the bedside table, and take a look. It's about 8:43. I guess it's not as late as I feared. But if I were to be back in Japan, I'd be panicking right now about now. It's not uncommon for me to wake up at 6:30, so I get ready and grab some breakfast and take the train to work. I'm used to getting up way earlier than this. Had quite the lie in all things considered. Maybe so, but you did have a busy day yesterday. I hope you don't feel too worried from your first flight. A little, I guess, but getting some exercise and some fresh air would be better than lying in bed. I think it'd be a shame to come to this beautiful country, always be wasting my days indoors. I won't be here for very long. I want to make the most out of things while I can. Why, thank you. I am gratified to hear you say that. It is always nice to hear one praise one's own home country. The maid was... What was her name again? I'm sure she told me and smiles faintly. It's Elizabeth. She's not a very expressive woman. Her pale face looks like the rest of her body to be carved from marble. But that smile, though small, serves to light up her eyes. Framed by one of the windows as she is, bathed in the early morning sunlight, she looks almost radiant. If I weren't for the black and white maid's garb she's attired in, I'd be tempted to mistake her for the princess. She's certainly regal enough. I do so hope you enjoy your stay in the store, Mr. Ogurasawa. As you said, it is a very pleasant country indeed. I myself was very fond of it. I can see why. I'm not seeing much of it yet, but it really does look like something from a fairy tale. I only caught a glimpse of the streets yesterday on my journey to the palace, but the bits of Rosenberg I caught through the window look enticing. I think it'd be nice to go for a stroll through its charming streets alongside Hiffman or Marina or Hazel. Speaking of which, do you know where, out of all things, let's go for Hiffman. But of course, the maid, what was her name again? I think it started with an E. Maybe it was Eliza. Bows her head in a sense. If it Miss Yamamoto you're after, she is taking breakfast in the parlor with Milady. Miss Wakasugi, meanwhile, has left to attend business meeting, and Miss Williams has gone to the tennis court to practice. Ah, I see. I nod. That's about as I expected. I'm not surprised by my companions' whereabouts, but I am a little surprised this maid is so very on top of things. Isn't it your job to know everything that's going on in the palace? Naturally. The maid nods and setting down her brush approaches my bedside. As Milady's #1 maid, I cannot let any detail, no matter how subtle, escape my attention. I must be fully abreast of all that is occurring, so I might probably serve her. Part of being a maid is pre-emptying Milady's wants, so I can satisfy her needs before she feels the need to voice her commands. I would so hate for her to waste her breath when she has so many matters of import to attend. Is that so? I grin. You sound pretty devoted. Talk about being a super maid. Oh, I am. It's not so special, really. I simply try to remain focused at any and all time for my lady's sake. One never knows, after all, when she might summon me. Does Sofia, sorry, Her Highness, rely on you a lot then? Indeed, she does. I do not mind that, though. I like being relied on. It is nice feeling useful, and it is not hard to work for my lady's sake either. She is a sweet, kind girl, and she always makes her appreciation well known. I am honored to serve her. Yeah, I get that. I didn't get along well with my boss before, so I had no motivation to work. It was pretty cruddy. His attitude shifted recently though, and he's been more complimentary about my work. That makes me feel more inclined to put in an honest effort. Indeed, one efficiency in the work place can all be attributed to one's superiors. Nobody likes to feel that their time is not being respected. The maid, is her name Elise? Alina? It definitely was something Western nods. Fortunately for me, I could ask for no better employer than Milady. She truly is a credit to the royal family and to her kingdom. Her heart is the greatest, gentlest, noblest sort. I had never met any woman like her. Wow, I whistled. She sounds pretty remarkable. I always imagined the nobility as being stuck up and selfish, let them eat cake, but I guess the fun is different. Indeed she is. She is the treasure, as I hope you will soon uncover. You should get to know her. Do you think I could? I frowned. The princess didn't invite me to the palace per se. That invitation was extended to the woman I'm tagging along as her +1. Would it be a bit, I don't know, presumptuous for a commoner like me to try and speak to a princess? I don't think so. No, Milady is open to conversing with anybody from all walks of life. It is only they remember their manners. You seem a polite young man, Miss Oversour, so I doubt Milady will take umbrage with you. Well, thanks for the compliment. I'm not sure if I'm all that worthy of it, though. My manners leave a lot to be desired. I can't be all that polite, given I can't remember the maid's name despite my attempts, but to be fair, I was pretty tired last night. It is a bit awkward, though, conversing with a woman who knows my name while I can't remember hers. Is there some way I could ask her about it without looking too rude? It is true, your manner of speaking is unpolished, shall we say. Ouch. Is that a polite way of saying I talk like a thug? But I do not think there's anything wrong with it. It is quite amusing. In fact, to hear you speak so within the walls of the palace. It is rare for us to receive guests such as you, Miss Urasawa. I am sure the princess will find your company the most intriguing. I hope she does. You think? I'm certainly of it. As affable as Milady it is rare she has the chance to make being friends. Being a princess can be quite isolated. So, I can imagine that. Yui has a lot of duties to contend with herself as the Queen of the Succubus realm. It's rare she ever afforded the chance to leave her domain. I bet Sophia's situation is similar. I wonder whether she is even allowed to leave the palace without an entourage of armored guards keeping her safe. It sounds stifling. I'll be happy if you would make Milady's acquaintance, as I am sure she would. I would not wish to impinge upon your schedule, but it would be nice if you could speak to her. Oh sure, I guess I'll head down to the parlor then. Glanced down at myself. I'm still wearing pajamas, then scratching my cheek. I should probably get dressed first though. Perhaps you should. Yes, as charming as your nightwear it is, it will behove you to freshen up. The maid smiles sardonically, then bows her head. I shall leave you to it then. Farewell for now, Miss Obersawa, and if you were in any doubts... The maid pauses by my bedside and looks to me from over her shoulders. My name is Elizabeth. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance once more. Huh? I look at the maid. Sorry, Elizabeth, blankly. I was doing my best to hide my confusion her name, but I guess I must have let it slip, though how exactly I don't know. Is this woman psychic? All of a sudden, her amber eyes gaze is looking pretty intense. How'd you know I'd forgotten your name? You think... Let us just say I had a feeling. What? Yo! What? She actually knew! Elizabeth laughed softly. That face tells it all. I flatter myself, I have a talent when it comes to diving the thoughts of men. Is that another one of your duties as the princess' top maid? Oh no, these instincts of mine are quite divorced from the maidly duties. A maid though I may be, I am a woman too. Please do not forget it. I have desires of my own, and I'm not afraid to act upon them. What the hell? What the hell? After dressing, Elizabeth leads me downstairs to the parlor, where Sofia and Reaffirming are waiting for me, both seated at a fancy-looking coffee table. Sofia is wearing the same regal blue gown she wore when greeting us at the airport yesterday, while Reaffirming is, as always, in her kimono. Reaffirming must be wearing contact lenses because she isn't wearing her thick-rimmed glasses. It's been a while, come to think of it, since I saw Reaffirming in her spectacles. She looks more like a traditional Japanese beauty when she forges them, but I think Reaffirming looks charming in glasses too. It's kind of a waste. Reaffirming greets me with a smile upon my entry and says while waving, "Hello there, I hope you had a good night rest." Oh yes, it was very... I begin to, but I'm probably cut off by Sofia. Lizzie, this is wonderful timing. I was talking through matters with my mistress, and we both thought it would be nice if we could engage in another yet karuta contest this morning, but alas, man, it is not possible for us to play on our own not without a reader or to recite the poems for us. We have both been waiting to eager anticipation for you, so that we might begin our game. So you would mind acting as our enticed reciter, would you? For an hour or so. Of course not. Nothing brings me more joy, milady, than aiding you. I would be more than happy to help. Wonderful. Beaming, Sofia claps her hands together. You're so reliable, Lizzie. I knew I could depend on you. Alright, mistress. Sofia looks back at Reaffirming, her eyes blazing with determination. Let us get this show on the road. I cannot wait to challenge you again. Might have best to be during the championship finals, but been practicing every day since then. I'm willing to go all out. Maybe the best woman win. Yes, indeed. I am looking forward to it. Win or lose, this should prove to be a lot of fun. Sofia and Reaffirming relocated upon the floor, where they begin preparing their makeshift area for their impromptu game of karuta. I meanwhile watch them, feeling more and more like an interloper with every passing second. What am I even doing here? Elizabeth seemed pretty intent on getting me and Sofia friendly terms, but Astoria's princess didn't so much as react when I entered the parlor. She's so fixated upon her rematch with Reaffirming. She's not paying me any attention at all. How do I feel about this? Maybe I could ask Reaffirming to console me later, or... I mean... Hey, being blanked more or less by Sofia's smarts, but it isn't, I tell myself, the end of the world. I've a whole harem of succubus who'll be willing to give me attention. Should I ask for it? After Sofia and Reaffirming have finished up, I should just ask Reaffirming to let me use her lap as a pillow. That'll have to cheer me up. I'm feeling better. In fact, just thinking about it. Since when did I become so spoiled? The karuta match between Sofia and Reaffirming rages on for a good hour, but eventually Reaffirming emerges as the uncontested victor. Reaffirming's motions are so dexterous despite the trailing sleeves of her kimono. She soon sweeps the proverbial board. She beats Sofia with a healthy 10-card lead. In fact, which Sofia rather soon saw me over, seems to derive no shortage of enjoyment. That was a good deal of fun. Sofia exclaims in the wake of her loss. Thank you very much for agreeing to play with me, mistress. Though it's so very early in the morning, I remember now why I thought to call you mistress in the first place. Truly, when it comes to karuta, there's nobody more talented than you. Why, thank you very much. Hifumi giggles while uncupping her cheek with one hand. I am glad our game proved edifying, though you've no need to call me mistress. Your social status is much higher than my own, given you are a genuine princess. I'll be flattered if you could instead refer to me as Hifumi. Oh no, I would never dare to be so presumptuous, not when your skills in karuta so far eclipse my own. I cannot even begin to countenance addressing you in so familiar a manner, not while I am still but a lowly pupil. Perhaps I am ever able to play at a level akin to your own. I might regard you as an equal, but until then, I am so beneath you, it does not bear consideration. I will still call you mistress, else I shall address you as nothing at all. That is the only fitting title a woman such as you deserves. Hifumi giggles once more, amused. I cannot say I'm accustomed to being called mistress. It is quite curious. I wonder if this is how Marina often feels. Oh yes. True, being called mistress is way more Marina's forte. You're more of a wifely type, Hifumi, or maybe a big sister type. I quite concur. If you could one day call me big sis, dear Sofia, my heart would overflow with happiness. Big sis, perish the thought I could never. But I see, at the present, that would not be advisable. The woman smiles somewhat forlornly. The merry prospect of calling from big sis has Sofia so worked up, her face has flooded crimson. She's stumbling over her words just like a reluctant pony with broken leg. As friendly as Hifumi and Sofia seem to be, there's a real barrier between them, and surprisingly enough, said barrier isn't Sofia's lofty status as a princess. Rather, Sofia seems to be so very starstruck when it comes to Hifumi. She can only regard her as some sort of exalting being. Knowing Hifumi as I do, I'm fully aware that Hifumi doesn't like being referred. She takes pleasure from doting upon others, and nothing makes her happier than performing household chores or preparing cups of green tea. All this verbal kowtowing courtesy of Sofia must be making her uncomfortable. Still, Hifumi bears with it as best she can. Hifumi, being cautious of others' feelings, isn't one to express an issue. Now when it will obviously make the other party uncomfortable, she's very considerate. I think that's why I like her so much. And that and her miso soup, which really is to die for. If you wish to address me as the mistress, then I suppose you may. It is doing nobody any harm. I am still unaccustomed to being regarded thus, but I should ease it into due to course. Now I take it as you wish for me to school you even more intensely in the art of karuta. Oh yes, if you would care to play even more games with me, I would be overjoyed. I want to get even better at karuta, and to do so, I must learn the best. I am passionate about the game, so I shall give it my all. In time, perhaps, even I will be able to stand against you, mistress, without embarrassing myself. Then I shall no longer be your hapless pupil, but your worthy advisory. I'll look forward to that. Everyone bows her head while smiling serenely. I have faith in you, dear Sofia. I'll teach you all know. I know, until you two will become a fine challenger. Why are you so halfway there already? It is most impressive. You were able to challenge me in the finals of the National Karuta Championship. With just a touch of more instruction, you could become a truly formidable foe indeed. Whilst you might be the best karuta player in Japan, you are surely the best in Storia. While I am certainly that is true, it is not very impressive and at cold. Smiling shyly, Sofia begins to toy with her blonde hair. I believe I am one of the only karuta players in Storia. The game is not at all well known here. To become a proper player, one must first be familiar with Japanese language. This is quite the high barrier of entry already. Unfortunately, I have been interested in Japan for many years and already had firm knowledge of the native tongue before I commenced my training. Japanese is such lovely lyrical language. You can imagine my intrigue when I learned karuta. The game itself is a celebration of your poetic accomplishments. It is truly an elegance. I wish more people in Sofia know, across Europe in general, would grow to love karutas as I have, but alas, Sofia shakes her head. Might be a bit of a difficult sell. Oh well, my love for the game is unsaleable, and I'm sure I will grow to love it all the more, and now you are here to instruct me, mistress. I do hope so. Karuta is a lovely game. It is not so very popular in Japan either. But with a foreign players such as yourself, it may begin to see more worldwide recognition. If you could contribute to its increased popularity, I'll be truly pleased. Now I have to do my very best. Sofia beams, her face glowing with happiness, but then upon seeing me, her smile falters. Her fervor for Karuta spent. She looks to me shyly and says, "Oh, but where are my manners? I forget. You are also here, Mr. Oshar, and I doubt your fondness of Karuta runs as deep as my own. I apologize for talking about at such great length about a subject you may not find interesting. I'm just so excited to play against my mistress again. I forgot myself. I've had a bad habit of doing that. I tend to get carried away at the smallest of provocations." Ahem. Sofia clears her throat and then, resting her hand upon her chest, says, "Let me introduce myself to you anew. My name is Sofia Maria Isabella of Astoria. I am the Crown Princess of Astoria, and I am in my 21st year. I love Japanese culture, Karuta in particular, and I have been studying your language since I was a small child. It is very pleasant to meet you. I hope you had a good night's rest." "Oh yes, it was wonderful. You don't need to worry on that score." I smiled at Sofia in an attempt to reassure her. I can't remember the last time I had such a restful sleep. "Wonderful. I am most relieved. I would hate to be a poor hostess, particularly when it is at my best that you came to Astoria. Thus, while you are residing in the palace, you may, of course, venture anywhere you like. No rooms are out of bounds. Not even my own bedchamber. You may promenade in the garden, enjoy your library, or visit the stables if you so desire. You may also venture Rosenberg if you wish to do some shopping and sightseeing. Just as one of my chauffeurs, and shall be one too happy to escort you whatever it is you wish to go to. As for my mistress, meanwhile," Sofia looks to Reaffirming, "while I do not wish to deprive you of your company, I will in all likelihood be spending a lot of time with her, honing my karuta skills. I hope this does not cause you too much inconvenience." "Oh no, it's alright. I knew before I came here that you and Fu would be playing a lot of karuta. I know how important this game is to you." Sofia only made that blindly obvious, and I wouldn't wish to pull you away from it. If a woman otherwise engaged, I can always wander around on my own, or spend time with Marina and Hazel wherever they're free. Besides, it's not like you'll be eating up all of woman's time. We should still be able to snatch a few hours alone together, presuming you want to spend time together with me. But of course, you are my darling Haruki after all. As much as I enjoy karuta, no other occupation makes me happier than being by your side. I know that the pair of you have a special relationship, so you needed to worry about that. I am not so very thoughtless that I would keep my mistress to myself throughout her whole trip. Given you are both on holiday, you ought to enjoy yourselves. I would hate to keep you away from your fiancé for too long, mistress." "Fiancé? Hey, Hifumi, you didn't..." I begin, but Hifumi soon cuts me off. She shifts closer to me, winding an arm through mine, and laughingly says, "Why, thank you. You are my most considerate." But of course, as a princess, consideration is one of my middle names. At least it will be if I didn't have so many middle names already, and adding an extra might be too much and to keep track of. Honestly, I have so many names I sometimes forget them myself. Sofia and Hifumi exchange further pleasantries while Hifumi continues to press her voluptuous chest against my arm. I I can't say I'm displeased about this arrangement, but I'm beginning to feel somewhat perturbed. Since when was I filming fiance? This is certainly the first time I've heard about it. Despite appearing so the mirror and Mimi can be awfully aggressive when she wants. Perhaps Mistress wouldn't be too ill-fitting of title for her after all. Ah, man. If Fumi and Sofia have another karuta match following their first, which again, Fumi wins with ease. Alright everyone, that's the end of today's video. So thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Now see you guys in the next one.